Here at the Beehive, all the bees are bee behaving. That's because that's what God wants us to do. We learn our verses from our Bibles, and we like to show them to you. It all starts with Queenie. She knows the verse. She'll tell her stories and what we learned. Peyton is so patient. Willow is wise. Jenny is generous all the time. Dylan happy is so diligent. He is so loving. Hudson he is humble as he fights his pride. Grace is always graciously gracious, and then the gentle Jimmy, that's the bees at our hive. Here at the Beehive, all the bees are bee behaving. That's because that's what God wants us to do. We learn our verses from our Bibles, and we like to show them to you.
Good morning, children. Welcome to the Beehive for Memory Monday. Today's story is Be Loving, Lewie, and our memory verse is Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. Can you help me say that? Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. I believed in you, and you did it. Great job! Let's start with our story for today. In a cozy beehive, nestled amidst the fragrant blossoms of a sun-kissed meadow, lived a gentle-hearted bee named Lewie. Lewie's friends, Grace, Jenny, Dylan, Peyton, Willow, Jimmy, and Hudson, were all abuzz with excitement during the busy season for honey making. Lewie, with his kind nature, loved spreading warmth and joy to his fellow bees. As the hive bustled with activity, he realized that besides collecting nectar and crafting honeycombs, there was another essential ingredient to a thriving hive. It was love. One day, Jenny faced a challenge with a particularly tricky honeycomb. "I just can't reach," she sighed. "I might as well spend my entire day on just this one," she cried, discouraged. Lewie gently approached her with a friendly buzz. "May I show you what helps when I'm having an issue?" He offered a helping hand and word of encouragement as he demonstrated his trick for this kind of honeycomb. Jenny, touched by Lewie's kindness, felt a surge of warmth in her heart. "Thank you, Lewie. I was getting so frustrated." "Anytime." Lewie's acts of love rippled through the hive, whether it was sharing a sweet discovery with Jimmy, helping Peyton with her intricate dances, or simply offering a comforting hum to Hudson. Lewie became the heart of the hive. One afternoon, the bees were enjoying a break, cooling off in a fresh puddle that had formed after a morning rain. Dylan turned to Lewie and said, "Busy, busy, buzz, buzz. You've been so loving, and that's how it's done." Peyton smiled. "Yes, Lewie, you've been a really great example to us." Lewie did a fancy flip into the puddle. When he emerged from the water, he grinned. "You all make it easy to love you. You're my best friends." After their break, the bees went back to work, gathering nectar, enjoying each other's company as they worked. Suddenly, Hudson froze in place and gasped, "Bruh, this isn't good." "What's wrong?" Willow asked. Hudson, frozen in fear, looked towards the edge of the meadow. "Horace, the horrible horse, got loose again," he cried. "He's coming this way. He might trample us. I don't want to be trampled by a horse." Lewie looked off in the direction in which he saw Hudson's eyes focusing. "Oh," he gasped. "This isn't good." Willow advised her friends, "Fly high and stay out of his path. Remember the last time Horace came near. He crushed half of our flowers before we'd finished collecting the nectar," Jenny said, "and he did it on purpose." All the bees flew up high and watched as Horace galloped their way. What do you think Horace is up to today? Do you think he will trample the flowers? Let's practice our memory verse and then we'll find out. Today's memory verse is Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. Can you help me say that? Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. I believed in you, and you did it. Great job. Let's continue with our story. Horace arrived near the hive and grinned up at the bees with his huge front teeth on full display. Howdy, little buzzers, he laughed. I broke my fence and just came over to see y'all. Hudson started to approach Horace, but Willow pulled his wing, holding him in place. Please stay out of his way. He's dangerous. If we all swarm him, he'll be frightened and go away before he destroys all of our wildflowers. I want to sting him, Peyton said angrily. Yeah, Grace agreed. Let's get him before he gets us. Wait, Lewie said. I have an idea. Trust me. Lewie slowly crept towards Horace. Horace saw him gaining on him and grinned. Don't think y'all can stop me from my fun, little one. I have been fenced in for too long, and I need to run and play. I understand that, Lewie said in a loving voice. But when you trample our flowers, we can't collect the nectar we need for making our sweet honey. Horace rolled his eyes. That sounds like a you problem. Maybe, Lewie didn't argue. But what if we could have fun and play without causing any damage? Horace sighed. But it's fun to see how many flowers I can knock down. It's like a competition for me. Lewie nodded. I can see how that would be fun, but I have an idea for another competition. How about you and I have a race? But in this game, all of the flowers are giant rattlesnakes. We have to race without touching any of the snakes. Whoever touches the fewest flowers wins. Do you think Horace will agree to the game? I like how Lewie spoke with love and kindness to Horace, even though they haven't always gotten along. Let's remember today's memory verse before we continue with our story. Today's memory verse is Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. Can you help me say that? Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. I believe you did great. Now, let's see what Horace thinks of the game. Horace looked unsure. I want to play, Grace buzzed in, joined by her hive mates. Me too, Jimmy said. One by one, each of the bees said they'd like to play the game. As each one agreed, Horace became more interested. Oh, shucks, Horace said. If y'all want to play, it must be a great game. I want to join in too. So when Lewie said to start, each bee and their new horse friend started running. The bees dunked and darted around each flower. Horace zigged and zagged beneath them. This is a bundle of fun, Horace shouted. The game continued through several rounds, and very few flowers in the meadow were even bumped. Lewie felt his heart swell with contentment over how the situation turned out. If he had come into the situation angrily, things would not have turned out as well, and definitely would not be having so much fun. I think we're becoming friends, Horace shouted out to the bees. Thank you for letting me play the game with y'all. It's our pleasure, Lewie insisted. When the game was over, Horace smiled at his new friends. I have to get back to the barn for my supper, but I really like to come play with you again sometime. Dylan landed on Horace's back and grinned. Busy, buzz, buzz, you can come over and we'll have fun. And I promise to be gentle with your flowers, Horace said. As the days turned into weeks, the hive transformed into a haven of love and camaraderie. Horace dropped by a few times a week, each time having a game idea that involved being careful of the wildflowers. The bees not only worked together for the common goal of honey making, but also nurtured a bond that went beyond the honeycombs. One day, when Horace came, he admitted, "The first time I jumped over my fence, I wanted to trample all your flowers so that you would just go away. I was scared you were mean and that you wanted to sting me." "Oh no," Willow assured him. "We would never want to harm you." "I know that now, and that makes me happier than a pig in the mud." He looked at Lewie. "The way you showed me love changed everything. If you'd come at me, I had stirred up a whole bunch of trouble." His new friends, with smiles as warm as the sun, agreed wholeheartedly. They realized that just like the flowers in the meadow, their hive blossomed with a different kind of sweetness, the sweetness of love. It sounds like Horace understands today's verse. Let's review it again. Our memory verse is Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. Can you help me say that? Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs. I believed in you, and you knocked my socks off. Great job! Let's finish up for today's story. As honey-making season came to an end, in the heart of the sunlit meadow, Lewie and his friends celebrated not only the honey that they had crafted, but the love that had made their hive a truly extraordinary home. With wings abuzz and hearts aglow, they continued their friendship with Horace. Now that they had more time on their hands, they ventured up to Horace's farm, where he taught them his own games. They learned how to hustle over haystacks and prance through pig puddles. The end. Join us next time as we hear how Grace learned to be gracious. See you next time. Proverbs 10:12. Hatred stirs up trouble, but love forgives all wrongs.